They assure me that it wouldn't actually cause any problems even if you hadn't removed it and it's completely safe, etc., etc., etc. Well, we're gonna go ahead and open this up. Wow, it looks terrific.
Final Fight for Super Nintendo, $4.
It's kind of disappointing. So I'm at Savers again, and there's a Game Boy here for $4.99. What's really cool is I noticed that it's kind of heavy, so there's batteries in it. And I turned it on, and the batteries aren't that strong, but it works. There's some screen damage, but that's easily fixed. It has Tetris inside, so I can't complain. $4.99. Here's the Game Boy I got from Savers for $4.99. And it's kind of interesting. I got it today, the 22nd. It was put on the shelf, I guess, today, the 22nd. I don't know how long it was actually sitting out there, but for that price, I couldn't pass it up. It even comes with Tetris. It looks like it's in beautiful shape. And one thing I had noticed too is that if you turned it on, it actually starts up and plays. So used batteries, I guess I can consider that to be a bonus. One thing that I did notice is that most Game Boys that are this old have some issues with the lines. You can see them right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually fix that and get the lines taken out of there. Okay, now in order to do this repair of the screen, you're going to need a couple things. You're going to need some fresh batteries because you need to have the unit on while you're doing the repair so you can see the lines. You're also going to need a soldering iron. This is already hot and ready to go. Make sure it's clean. You don't want any excess solder at the tip because we're not going to actually solder anything. We're just going to use that to heat up a ribbon cable inside the Game Boy itself. The other thing you're going to need is possibly, and this won't apply to all Game Boys, but you're also going to need a tri-tip screwdriver. And what I mean by tri-tip is, if you were to look at the head of the screw, it would actually look like this instead of like this. This would be like a traditional Phillips type screw, whereas the tri-tip or tri-wing kind of looks like that. Kind of looks like a Mercedes Benz symbol. It's a special screwdriver you need to actually take those off. And just so happens, I got this kit from Harbor Freight here in Las Vegas. I'm sure they have stores in other cities. This kit was only $4.85 and it has exactly the bit that I need. Now, not all Game Boys are going to need this bit. The launch models I know for a fact, because I also have a launch model Game Boy. It just uses regular Phillips screws. So if that's yours, then you can just use like an eyeglass screwdriver to open it. Otherwise, you're going to need that tri-tip bit. I'm also going to go ahead and take the game out. So the first thing we're going to do is take the screws out. There's 6 of them. Here, 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 here. Now if you have a tri-wing bit, like the kind you'd use in a drill, or one of those multi-tool screwdrivers, that's not going to work, and I'll show you why in just a moment. Take these out. Now here's where you're going to have a problem if you try to use a bit as opposed to one of these slender kind. On these bits, generally the tip is kind of short, less than 1/2 of an inch, and then you have this portion which is used to be held in the screwdriver or the drill or whatnot. The top screws on the Game Boy only allow so much to go in there, and you can't reach to the screw. What ends up happening is this part right here will start to cut into the plastic and chew it up, and it looks really, really ugly. So don't even bother trying it. I also wouldn't recommend trying to create your own tri-wing screwdriver or trying to modify another screwdriver to make one. Speaking from personal experience, that it's enormously difficult to do, and you're probably going to just break a bunch of little screwdrivers, and in the time it could take you to go to Harbor Freights or whatever to get the appropriate tool, you'd save yourself a big headache. So now when you open the actual Game Boy, you got to be pretty careful, because you don't want the buttons to go flying and things like that. And there's a ribbon cable, so you also don't want to just rip the system off to get in there. Okay, but if you're gentle enough, you should be alright. Now next we're going to have to take off several more screws. Here, 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 there, there, and there. The good news is these screws are actually just Phillips. So you'll be able to just use a regular eyeglass screwdriver to get those off. Okay, when you lift this up, I'm going to do it real slow so as to not break off any of the parts. You also want to be careful about the speaker. Once you get it disconnected, go ahead and take the top shell off and then flip this part over. There's a strip here that needs to be grounded to that as you do this mod. So flip it over. Alright. Now that's what the Game Boy looks like. Here's the pad for the D-pad. So we'll go ahead and remove that so it doesn't get in the way. Now you're going to want to take a sheet of paper, fold it like that. Now even though that strip needs to touch there on that contact, I don't want it to short out anything else. So I'm just going to put the paper to about right here and flip that over it. And that should prevent it from shorting out. I'm also going to go ahead and flip the system over now. I'm going to put in the fresh batteries. Just like that. And you can go ahead and put it back on it so they don't fall out. I'm also going to go ahead and put in a Double Dragon, so I'd rather listen to that music than Tetris. So go ahead and turn it on. And you can see the lines over there. And that's what we're actually going to fix. Now, sometimes if you press down here, you can make some of the lines reappear, but it's only a temporary fix. If you can't see the lines very well, you may need to adjust the contrast so you can see it better. So turn up that music just a little bit. Alright, the next thing you need to do is actually remove this black strip right here, which you need to be very careful of, because if you jerk it up too hard or too fast, it's going to actually make more lines appear. So use a very, very, very thin screwdriver that's flat-headed, or you could also use tweezers. And you just want to lift up on it. I don't know if you can tell, but some of the lines actually already corrected themselves. don't get too excited because that's only going to be temporary. And when you peel this off, you got to go real slow. Don't jerk it off. And you can't really notice, but there's also lines on that side that are messed up. So we're going to want to save that. You may end up with glue left over. Generally just use a screwdriver to push it off. It's a little tedious. And the reason why we're going to make sure that glue is removed is because right where that screwdriver's at, that I'm scraping at, where that black strip was, that's where we're going to put the soldering iron. And while you're doing this, go ahead and have your soldering iron plugged in. Make sure it's already getting hot. And again, make sure it's clean.